So Ricky,
Ah,
I was just writing a blog about Paul Casey being a resident in Scottsdale. Do you know
I
where
didn't
he
know he lives
lives?
here. Where does he live? We should have coffee.
Hey, I'm from Virginia, so Scottsdale is in Arizona someplace.
Yeah, well, that's where I
I'm
live,
not sure
but
exactly. I'm not sure exactly where he lives.
you're the one writing the blog post. Cheyenne Woods lives here too, so maybe all three of us can just hang out and drink coffee. So
Yeah,
we are back for another Friday Foursome. Where's the blog at? Are you gonna post it and share it with
I
me?
I was posting it just as you dinged me there with. I didn't realize I was running late.
Yeah, you're running late. Well, that's okay. Make sure you post it in the Google Plus Golf community. We are back for another Friday Foursome. It's funny that I was just like 20 minutes ago emailing John Hakeem from greenskeeper.org, and I wonder if he does that on purpose just so I make sure that I remind everyone that for the next year, the Friday Foursome is presented by greenskeeper.org. And also, this is brand new. I posted it in the community this morning, but kind of breaking news. We have dates for hashtag the Evan15. So greenskeeper.org is going to be involved with that as well. They're going to be the presenting sponsor for that. We've got the first round is going to be at Auction Southern Dunes in Maricopa, Arizona. And I am just pumped. The details are already starting to formulate in January. So it's going to be a lot of fun come July. And I'm gonna coin it as the hottest golf outing in the nation because, well, it's the middle of July in Arizona, so that kind of fits. But I'm really excited about today's guest. We're gonna get to that here in a second because he hit a shank the last time we had him on the program. But we got Jason Boslow, the I don't know if you're the original Jason or Jason #1. You should have wore like thing 1 and thing 2 shirts today. And we got Les Bailey from Pro Golf Now, and I am pumped about having Jason Sutton back in the room, the guru. Jason, what happened last time?
I don't know, but I'm glad we got a mulligan. It's good to be here, man. But we just had a bad connection, and it happens.
Hey, I like that. You had a shank, and I'm going to give you a mulligan. That's fine. It's first tee jitters. I'm totally fine with that. But like I said, it's good that we got you back because now we got the greenskeeper.org relationship going. We've got questions from greenskeeper.org members. I may or may not let Les ask a couple of questions. He and I were bickering last night on Twitter, so I may or may not let him ask a couple of questions. You know all about Twitter. But before we get into all the questions, I know who you are, and the other two guys in the room know who you are. But you've been here for a while. You've been with Carmel Country Club for, almost probably going on a year now, I would think. So take a couple of minutes, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, tell us what you're involved with, and as I like to say, tee it up for the next half hour.
That's pronounced Carmel, by the way, Ricky.
No, it's Carmel. We're in North Carolina. Carmel's in California. But, thanks, Ricky. It's good to be here, and I'm the director of instruction at Carmel Country Club in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's an outstanding facility. We have 36 holes and 1,000 members, so it's just a really cool place to work, and I've got a great staff, Josh Spraggins and Maggie Simons, that you guys probably see on Twitter occasionally that work for me. So I'm lucky to have a great team around me. But I was before that I was at the Dana Rader Golf School for almost 12 years. So I worked with Dana Rader, top 100 teacher and legend in the teaching arena. So that was a big part of molding my craft, is getting to teach 3,000 hours every year and see a lot of golf swings. So that's pretty much the last 15 years of my life right there. But I've been teaching about 24 years. So previously, being from West Virginia, from a small town in West Virginia, I worked at a couple clubs there as an assistant, and then I moved to North Carolina in '97 and was the head professional at the Northstone Club, which is just north of the city, for a few years. And that was a great experience, and it sort of pushed me into understanding what I really wanted to do, which was teach full time. So just happy to be here and loving going to work every day, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Well, your first question for me is going to be about that because you have been with the club for so long. What is your favorite part about what you do? And don't just say teaching, because there's got to be something every day that you look so forward to when you go into work.
It's really about the people, because again, being there 3 years, but I've got 1,000 people to meet. I haven't even met everybody. Being just on the teaching side and not hanging out in the golf shop all the time. It's it's exciting for me to meet new members, but it's also exciting for me to see the guys and the girls that I work with every week, because it's a lot more, to me, than just teaching golf. It's more about being involved in their lives and getting to know what's going on with their kids, and our huge junior program that we have there. It's just, I just love people, so that's always exciting for me to learn something from them, and then allow for me to work with them every day.
Awesome.
So social media always seems to be a big topic in our hangouts, and how people use it and how well it's done for them. What flaws do you see in other golf instructors, with their social media approach? You definitely seem to be a guru, if you will, when it comes to the social media approaches in the golf industry. And just curious, what your opinion is of how some people are missing it or not using it.
That's a good question, and thanks for the compliment. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to meet so many people just through social media, like Ricky. I mean, we met on Twitter and did a conference together, and we've been good friends ever since. So it's kind of for me, it's been 4 or 5 years, I guess, going pretty strong with it. And my platform's changed a lot since I've gone to the private setting, because now I'm not really trying to cultivate more students. I'm more in the realm of just educating other teachers, and then just putting out quality golf information for students and golfers out there that love the game. I think for me, I've always just tried to be authentic when I'm online. I would hope that when you meet me in person, and Ricky can attest to this, that you get the same characteristics of what I'm about online as you do in person. I think probably if I had to say one thing is just be yourself, and people will recognize that. I think people try to put on a facade of trying to be something that they're not, and it'll end up catching up to them eventually.
Yeah, and I can relate to that, because we've met several times, and it's so fun for me to be able to communicate with you on Twitter, whether it's publicly or via direct message, and then to sit down and have a beer with you, and it's the exact same. And I think that the validity of that and the ability for you to be the same individual online and in person is what makes your success online so powerful. And there are a lot of people that aren't like that, to where it's so fake when you're on Twitter, and it is a facade of where what you're putting out there online is not how you are in person. And I think that says a lot about the success you have seen on Twitter and other social networks. So I will attest to that 100%, that whoever Jason Sutton is online, he's the same thing when he's sitting next to you.
Yeah, I hope so.
So greenskeeper.org, the sponsor of the Friday Foursome, one of the coolest things that John Hakeem is doing is he's throwing questions to his community of individuals, his members, and asking them to engage and to get a couple of questions from their members into each episode of the Friday Foursome. So we've got a question from Ringworld, who says, being a golf instructor and an instructional editor columnist for Golf Illustrated, what advice can you give to a high handicap golfer, for that matter, a middle handicap golfer, to help them reduce his strokes during a round? And that's a really good question, actually. So thank you.
Sure. There's always different ways you can do that. I mean, I think number one, being a teacher, obviously I advocate going to get lessons. I know Ricky doesn't take very many lessons, but he's just that talented, that he can play the Bubba role. But I think doing research, in your community of who to go to see, I think is the first thing. I think just like any business, we've got different coaches for different people, and you've got to be careful with who you go to, and then sort of their background. So I think doing your homework, talking to good players in your area or people you work with that are getting results in their coach, and then once you find somebody, interview them properly and really sit down and talk to them about your goals. I mean, I think that's the main thing, is making sure that you're on the same page with the teacher, so that you can be heading in the right direction and make sure they've got your interest at heart. Because you may just be that mid handicapper that just used to be a 16 handicapper, now it's a 21. They just want to get back to a 16, and then your coach might be trying to make you a tour pro and doing things that maybe you don't have time to do, or the commitment level may not be available just through the time that you have to practice. So that would be my advice, is just to get somebody you trust, get somebody that has a good reputation, and then allow them, have an open mind and allow them to guide you into whichever direction you want them to go.
Awesome. Thanks for that question, Ringworld.
Yeah,
Hey, Jason, guess what? Back to you.
So everybody's goal here is to try and grow the game of golf. How do you feel that you're trying to drive home that point, and what do you feel is your biggest way to drive golf for everyone?
Yeah, great question. And we are all trying to grow golf, and for me, being just a teaching pro, I try to grow golf in a little bit of a different way. As I try to help educate or mentor other young teachers into becoming better teachers, so they can help the player. I hold 2 or 3 workshops a year. I've got a huge workshop coming up here in March that I invite other top pros to come in and talk, and invite. Last year we had 65 pros from 7 different states come to my club and listen to me and some other guys, talk about how to get better as teachers. Because I think that's the thing, is if we're out there hurting or making people worse, then they're not going to play. They're not going to have as much fun. So for me, I'm trying to mentor the young teachers coming out of college, the PGM students and so forth, that are interested in teaching games, so they can help their players. So obviously, if they play better, they're going to play more golf. So that's sort of a different angle. I'm not trying to increase rounds of golf, which I think, I do that. When my members play better, they're going to want to go play in more tournaments. They're going to want to play more golf. They're going to want to spend more money in the golf shop and in the restaurant. So I think it's sort of a trickle down effect. But for me, it's just better information and creating better teachers worldwide.
Good.
So,
I'll go with it.
Les, I guess I'm going to let you ask a question. I didn't want to, but go ahead.
Get out of the doghouse, Les. Come on.
I am in the doghouse, let me tell you. After I was browsing your site, the thought crossed my mind that you were maybe the Angie's List of golf. Is that where you got your business model, or what?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know what you mean by that. What are you saying? I'm diverse? I mean, that's good, right?
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of instructors located in a lot of different places. And have you met all those instructors, or only by Twitter?
You may just be looking at the blog roll. Yeah, those are all just friends, probably just acquaintances that I know.
Okay.
And you met most of them on Twitter.
Yeah. Most of them are, some of my best friends now I met on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting.
So, John Hakeem from greenskeeper.org. Now, this is not fair. So I'm going to let him have a pass on this, but he's not allowed to ask questions. Well, I guess it is kind of fair because I ask questions and I host the show. So I guess it's kind of fair. But John wanted to know, are you looking to extend the community you've created on Twitter onto other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and he didn't say Google+, and even greenskeeper.org?
Yeah, I just started Instagram, I guess, not long ago. That's been kind of fun. I mean, it just, I think you sort of approach every platform a little differently because you get a different audience. But, for me, I'm so busy. It's very difficult for me I don't really need any more platforms. I mean, I wish I could write more. I wish I could do more blogging like I used to do, which I hope I will in the future. But right now, it's just kind of, I like the fast-paced Twitter world the best. And occasionally Facebook or whatever, or a group on Facebook, but I enjoy perusing Google Plus for sure. I don't post on there enough, but I do read a lot of stuff on there, and my friends are doing some stuff on there. But yeah, I don't think I need any more things to take up my time.
Yeah, I like to say that my mental capacity has been reached. If I add another network, my head might explode. Jason, let's kick it back to you.
So just kind of curious, I was looking at your golf blog site, and there's so much good content on there. Have you ever thought about trying to break things up more geographically? You have so many coaches and fantastic people to work through. Have you thought about trying to do something more geographically where people can find somebody in their area or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I know I probably need to transform that into a website, a bigger platform. And I may do that in the future, but I feel like it's a good portal for me because people can get to me really quick. If they need a recommendation for somebody in a different part of the country or even the world, I can pretty much give it to them because I've got with my Aimpoint connections and then all my Golf Pro connections, I can find somebody for somebody in certain areas pretty quickly.
Okay.
And I've got some well-connected friends. But yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I just need to hire Ricky to help me.
I just told you I don't have mental capacity for anything else.
I know he can't take on a new project, so I just don't try.
Hey, good luck getting him to do anything.
Yeah, no kidding. Half my tweets from Les or something about my ability to prioritize my hours. He only knew.
Yeah.
Time management, is a trick there.
Yeah.
One of the questions I have is, do your instructors use the Edify system?
Edufy.
I'm glad you brought that up because I just started using it.
Awesome.
A few of my friends, John Graham and Dennis Sales kind of put me onto it, and I really think I can use it in my club setting because, one, it lets me keep up with some of my college players or some of the kids that I don't get to see when they go back to school, and then plus, like my supervised coaching programs, I can put them into groups and then share content with them back and forth. But I think it's fabulous. I recommend it because I'm just starting to get into to figure out how to use it. I'm gonna meet with the guys down at the PGA show and get a little better tutorial just to make sure I'm getting the most out of it. But I love it.
Yeah, good.
That's a really good segue to my next question, the PGA show. I won't be there, but I know that you're looking forward to it. What are some of your most exciting things you're looking forward to this year at the show, and what are you looking to get out of the show this year?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about networking. Catching up with friends and do some education while I'm there. I'll go to some proponent group seminars and some things with Titleist, my brand. So they've got some nice little things for us to go to. But I'm always just sort of looking for the next training aid or the next piece of technology because I'm really into technology, as you know, Ricky. Last year was sort of the Gears project, which is going to be finished this year, and I guess a lot of guys have it already. It's way out of my price range, but yeah, just the next big thing. So I spent a lot of time in the training aid, teaching area. I don't get to see a lot of the other stuff. I look at some of the equipment, but most of the stuff I've already seen, even going into it. But just looking forward to meeting new people, catching up, putting faces with names, and I usually have an agenda of people that I want to see and questions that I want to ask them, and it's really exciting. It's really fast paced. It goes by really quick, but it's always what you get out of it is what you put into it.
Awesome, Jason. I know that you aren't going to the PGA show, but I'll let you ask another question because I liked your questions this week.
I wish I was going to a PGA show, but I didn't realize you knew Dennis Sales. Dennis is actually in my neck of the woods. I'm in Dallas, and he's about 30 minutes away from. He's over in Euless, or at least teaching out of Euless right now.
Yeah, you got to go see him. Him and Sinclair are awesome.
He actually did a analysis of my son a while back. So I've got a little one who's 9, and man, he's got some cool tools. So I always give Dennis props anytime I can on the show. Hopefully he's watching. But what other social media platforms are you active on? Obviously, Twitter is probably your highest one. What would you say is next?
Yeah, I mean, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, sort of all wrapped into one, and obviously the blog was there. I used a lot of that for content and just distributing articles or videos and so forth. I do a lot of YouTube stuff just for the members as well. I mean, I do a weekly video tip that only they can see. Occasionally, I'll release one of those tips to the public. And then now, just with Instagram, I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean,
well, I heard that Google Plus platform is really good.
Yeah, Google Plus isn't bad, and they could get a little bit better management. They probably would have some future. But yeah, I think.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Hold a straight face. All right, that's good.
No, but I mean, like I said, that's it. I mean, I think I think you just got to get one that works for you, and for me, like I said, I like Twitter just because it's so fast paced. It's like on steroids, and I can get answers to questions. I can talk to people. I can do whatever, really, really quick.
So, Les, your next question, it's not going to be from you because you've got one from greenskeeper.org as well. So why don't you ask that question and tell us Who's
I
asking
do.
that question?
I do. I also have a question from Ringworld. He says, what do you do to stay fit during the winter months?
Good question, because that's what I've been really focusing on this winter with my downtime. Is I used to be a really big runner. I've done 3.5 marathons and about 4 or 5 half marathons, and so I was pretty obsessed with it, and that's been just in the last 12 years. So I'm trying to get back into shape. I run, and then now I've just sort of add some TPI stuff with some bands and some medicine balls, and started pushing some weights actually, which I hadn't done in several years. So I'm trying to add some CrossFit. As we get older, I'm trying to just keep the body up as the long runs will take its toll on you if you're not careful. So
You should add yoga to that list. I just recently started yoga, and I'll tell you, it's quite the workout.
yeah, I need to do some things for flexibility, because I mean, when you're running, you just sort of go in one direction and you lose a little bit of that side to side motion. So, but I want to do a couple more marathons before I get too old. So New York's on my list.
Oh, that would be really
Wow.
cool. Are you TPI certified or no?
I'm not. I know enough to be really, really dangerous. So I know the stuff pretty well, but yeah, I'm not officially certified.
Okay. Jason, I bet you're not. You do yoga though. Tell me, pause and tell me about yoga, because my gym does that, and I don't know if I would be good at it.
Probably don't have time, Ricky.
Yeah,
I
you're
can
right.
promise you you're not good at it. I can promise you won't be good at it. Start, nobody is, but that's what's fun about it. It's awesome. It really is a great workout.
Probably nobody is. Next question from you.
Actually, I am flat out right now. You guys have answered all of my questions, and somebody even stole one. So,
Who
for
stole
me,
one?
it's
It
all
wasn't
about
me.
the
Was it me?
last round coming up.
Oh, we got about 10 more minutes of questions before we get to that, because
I'm just excited to listen now.
I'm going to pass over Les again, because Ringworld, he must have just wanted to know a bunch about you, Jason, because he's got an aim point #MakeEverything question. He said, being aim point certified means you can read greens to predict the ball path of travel. Do you tell your students to focus on where the ball will end up or where you want the ball to start out? Help me understand how you think one way is better than the other.
It is a great question. I mean, really what he's describing is the different ways that people perceive the target and visualize the ball curve is what they're saying. And then a lot of people would classify that as a nonlinear and a linear approach. The nonlinear being focusing on the last half of the putt and then the entry point, and then linear being able to aim more at an aim point or a spot. And I think I like to blend both. I don't think a lot of times I feel like if you take that nonlinear approach where you're just looking at the entry point, you lose a very valuable part of the visualization of the starting direction, which is the most important part. So, if you attend an aim point class and you start to learn a little bit more about why people miss low or hit too hard, then you'll start to understand that you're just not playing enough break, regardless of whatever you think you're seeing. So, I think most people have a variety of reasons why they miss or why they play the break low, but that first, 3 to 4 feet is very, very important, because you have to have that in order to make the entire curve show up.
I putt
Great
Furman at it,
question.
so it's going in or it's going 5 feet past. Just Furman at it, see what happens.
Well, good luck with that theory.
Now, I will say, I'm being serious, like the 3, 4, 5 foot putts, I do make a lot of those because I'm Furman at it. Now, when I do miss them, I mean, it happens, but
Right,
I do like the Furman at it approach. Now, I also will say that I heard Justin Leonard say a long time ago, like in the 90s, a long time ago, that pros don't miss putts on the low side. So if the putt misses on the low side, it's never got a chance of going in. So I do miss a lot of my putts on the high side. So
That's
I might
good.
be like the perfect candidate for aim point. So holding myself into taking one of those clinics.
You need to do it. I think you would really enjoy it, because it is, so much of a field exercise and it's so ridiculously easy.
Do they allow belly putters in those?
Yeah, sure. We could wait right now for another year. You can anchor for another little bit.
Now wait a minute, Jason. Seymour is sending you a putter that's not a belly
I know,
putter.
I need
Why
to
are
get
you
back
still
to him.
talking about your putter? Stop it.
And by the way, did you see what Webb Simpson did this week with a short putter?
No, I didn't. What'd he do?
He shot 62 yesterday. Made 10 putts on the back nine.
Oh, then he must be ready for a drug test then, because they did that to Chris Kirk last year. Shoot the course record and get drug tested. Les, final question from you, because I know Jason's sitting there impatiently waiting for the lightning round.
Hey, so I came up with another question.
Oh,
if you'd like me to ask.
Sure. Cut ahead of Les.
Leave me out again, aren't you?
Well, so this kind of affects Les because of his NASCAR roots. Being in North Carolina, do you have any NASCAR people that are at your court?
Jeff Gordon.
There you go.
He's the only one that I think we have. The Panthers coach, Coach Rivera, and Jeff Gordon is the only one I can think of.
Well, I thought Dale Jarrett was a big golfer too. Now.
he is, but he's just not a member of Carmel.
Oh, okay.
Does Gordon play a lot? I didn't even know he was a golfer.
I don't think he plays. His kids do. His kids run.
So here, I'm gonna go join a golf club, but I'm not gonna play golf. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I think he just did it for the kids. His kids are in our junior clinics.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I think it's more of a family deal.
Okay.
So you're not far off Dale Earnhardt Boulevard up there, then, are you?
I don't even know where that is.
Really? It's out on the north part of town.
Yeah, I don't know.
How did you nurture your relationship with the guys at iGrow Golf, and how has it helped you with your youth program?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I know you guys had Brian and Matt on last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago? Yeah, those guys are awesome. Well, I mean, my Campbell connection, which is where they're from, came from my last year's assistant, Alex Vanderlinden, which is now he's an assistant pro at the Governor's Club in Chapel Hill. He kind of turned us on to what they were working on, and the product, 4 years into it, I know you guys probably got the information, is now come to fruition, and we were the first club to be able to sort of use it. So we met with them at the PGA show last year, got very interested after I saw what it was about, and we just finished our first 12-week semester last fall, and it's just phenomenal. I'm teaching one night in it, and just to see the structure of it, I mean, you can go on and on, but it's the best junior program I think I've ever seen. I call it a game changer, but it's going to change the way people view junior golf because they're starting to branch out now. I'll talk about it every time somebody asks me because I think it's just phenomenal.
Awesome. Well, Jason, thanks for coming up with another question. Les, thanks for, I guess, asking questions. I'm still mad at you until at least the end of today. And now the lightning round is fun. It's changed a lot over the last few months, and each week I try to come up with more fun and unique and interesting questions. But this week I got a couple of good ones, and there's one question, as there is every week, that you need to be careful how you answer. And I actually don't know how you're going to answer that one, but we'll get there. So, you ready for the lightning round?
Sure. Let's do it.
Have you ever had an ace?
Yeah, I've had 3.
Oh, of course you have. You either have none or you have 3 or 4 or 7.
Yeah, I've had 3.
I'm sure it's Titleist, but what golf ball do you play? Specifically, what golf ball do you play?
Yeah, I play the X, the Titleist X.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, you're big on Twitter, at 140 characters or less. What does the future of the game of golf look like?
It looks younger, and I think it looks very exciting.
Ooh, that is somebody tweet that on behalf of him, or you tweet it when we're finished. That is so good. Who is your favorite LPGA Tour player?
Oh, wow.
And it cannot be one you coach if you coach any.
Yeah, Sarah Brown.
I just said it cannot be one you coach.
I like Lydia Ko.
Okay, that's a good one.
I like the young ones.
Yeah,
awesome. Already awesome, but it's going to be even better.
So you alluded to it earlier about training aids. What's your favorite training aid?
My hands.
Ooh, nobody will ever. That's really good. I like that a lot.
I like to move people around a lot, but yeah, that'd be my one.
Wow, that's awesome. Favorite PGA Tour major?
The Masters.
And here's the most important question of the day. Speaking of majors, will Tiger break Jack's record? Why or why not?
Yes, and because he's got the best coach in the game right now, I think.
I knew I liked you, and you confirmed that.
Mr. Chris Como. And he's a friend of mine, so that's always fun.
I mean, are we done, guys? I mean, I think he's pretty much said it all, right? Yeah.
He got all the brownie points, didn't he?
Como's probably watching too, so you just earned some brownie points.
Oh yeah.
So who is in your perfect foursome?
Oh wow, that's a good one. I think Tiger would definitely be one. Freddie Couples
Ooh, that's a good one.
and Jack Nicklaus.
And I will be caddying for you if Tiger is in your foursome. So
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
that in
right.
mind. I will be there as soon
Yeah.
as you need me.
Freddie was my guy growing up. He was my hero. So,
I got the chance to meet him a few weeks ago. He was at Auction Southern Dunes for their grand reopening, and awesome guy. He did a clinic on the range with some juniors before, and he's a funny guy. Like he's got a really cool personality.
He's got
All
some
right.
dry humor.
Well, I gave you a mulligan, and this is your final question of your very well done Friday Foursome. What's next for Jason Sutton?
Wow, just to get better. I mean, my goal every year is to learn something new. Just improve as a coach. Improve as a human being. As a father and as a husband. So I mean, I'm excited to see. My 13-year-old is getting really good, so I'm excited to see him and getting my daughter back in the game. So trying to make it a family affair in 2015.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, thing number one, Jason Boslow, thanks for joining us today. Les, I'm still mad at you until the end of the day. And Jason Sutton, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you taking time. It's like the warmest it's been in your area for the longest time. So winter breaks and you have to sit inside and talk to us for a half an hour, but that was fantastic. I'll make sure this gets shared in the Google Plus Golf community. I'll get a link to you as well by the end of the day. And I used to say, as Jesus Martinez said and stole from the greatest golf movie of all time, make more birdies, but I'm done saying that. I'm going to start saying what Matt Rust says and make less bogeys.